Hey guys, welcome to Marmaris. It's a coastal town in Turkey. Here I'll be showing you a food tour on some of the best restaurants and places to eat and drink in the city. Let's go! Apparently it's the pine honey capital of the world. I just found out while driving through the welcome sign. Hey guys, so I have arrived in Marmaris and I'm now going to be checking in at my hotel called Myra Hotel. So this is the hotel room. No views though. So guys, they have a pool. That's pretty cool. So this is also a nice touch. They have like a refreshment station with tea, water, soft drinks, and the most important one, coffee. So remember how I said Cash felt like a tourist being in a local seaside town? So Marmaris is the opposite. Like, you know, this is a tourist coastal town. Like, it's decked with like beach restaurants full of tourists mostly. Reminds me of like Boracay in the Philippines, whereas like Cash is like Palawan in the Philippines. I'm just trying to like scope the land. I'm walking along the beach, like the boardwalk, to see like what's up. It's actually really nice. It's very well developed, which is something I really enjoy. The views are nice. I don't see people swimming in it, and the sand is kind of like dirty and rocky. So I think there are different beaches in Marmaris that are better for swimming and stuff. I don't think it's this one. So I spotted this local restaurant from Google Maps, and it's just like one street behind the beach restaurants. It's Alzena restaurant and serving Turkish cuisine. So let's check it out. They're out of white wine, so I got me some rosé wine. So guys, they actually give you like a plate of meses to start, which is really good. So here they gave aubergine. This is yogurt with carrots. This is dried eggplant, I think. And this is like mixed vegetables. So guys, this right here is the meatball. Interestingly, they deep fried it and they said it has like meat walnut, which is interesting. Really very tasty. Kind of reminds me of like empanada, but the shell is more like a corn type of shell. I had a different idea. I thought when she said meatball, it would be like kofte. So this is very interesting. So remember what I told you about cats? Hello there. So this right here is the levrek or sea bass. They pan fried it, added some lemons, some fresh herbs, and onions. Comes with rice and salad. Hey guys, so we have a whole sea bream here. I'm so excited to try. So flaky. Looks so good and juicy. That's perfectly cooked. So good. Guys, I highly recommend checking out Alzena restaurant. When you're in Marmaris, it's really a must try, especially since the beach restaurants by the water, most restaurants aren't really like Turkish cuisine. It's like American or other European countries, like British and stuff. So this would really give you like a true taste of Turkish cuisine, and it's still like near the beach, so you can go to the beach after. And it's a family-run restaurant, and they are like the nicest people. Like, highly recommend. And since I still haven't had my coffee for the day, I'm ending my meal with Turkish coffee. So good. So these are all like beach restaurants here. We have even more over there. And I like that some of the restaurants actually are over the water. So that's pretty cool. This is such a nice walk by the water. Kind of reminds me of like being in California or Florida. Something that I got to experience in Cash because I was mostly in the old town. I don't know whether the beach parts of Cash in the new town would be similar to this, but I'm loving this walk. So I'm trying to walk all the way to the end, and I'm starting to see boats. So I think I'm about to hit like the Marmaris Marina or Yacht Club or something. Let's find out. So I have made it to the harbor side where you see a bunch of boats lined up behind me. So since I'm here during winter, which is the low season and cold season, most of the boats here aren't operating anymore, unlike they do in the summer where you can do day trips or like island hopping trips around the water. So that's something I need to like revisit next time. So that's interesting that they actually have a bar street and a fashion street. So now I'm walking towards the castle. You can actually see it from the harbor, but it's covered by the restaurants and bars. But you can see the top, so I want to get a more up close to see what it looks like. These steps right here kind of reminds me of Mykonos with the blue colors and white. So the Marmaris Castle is also actually an archaeology museum, but I'm arriving at around 5, which is the time they close. I'm just here to look around from the outside. It looks pretty though. And of course, there's cats. So I quickly went inside and asked the security if I can just like peep in and take some quick shots, and he let me, so that was very nice. It looks nice inside actually. Oh, I see Bar Street up ahead. So the street looks pretty dead right now. I don't know if it's because it's like 5 p.m. Maybe late night it becomes like crazy and like nightlife. But right now it's very quiet. So there are a lot of clubs I see. So I feel like it's gonna start to be like happening at around like 9 p.m. onwards. So I've reached the end of Bar Street and it's right back to another part of the water here with lots of boats. I see like a theme park or amusement park right up ahead there. Guys, so it's funny, I just walked through the Grand Bazaar without knowing because from the back entrance there was no sign that it's the Grand Bazaar. And when I was walking, I did think, is this the Grand Bazaar I saw like from the harbor side? And when I came out, it is. It is big, but the shops are like modern stuff. It's not really like Turkish stuff that I expected in a bazaar like the Spice Bazaar or the Grand Bazaar in Istanbul. Here you mostly saw like luggage, jewelry, bags, clothes. So not much of like carpets, rugs, Turkish food and stuff like that. And the stalls were more like shops than like vendors trying to sell you their goods. So it's very different vibe. So this looks like what seems to be the town square. And behind me, there should be like a dancing fountain, similar like their version of the fountains of Bellagio, but it doesn't look like it's operating, maybe because it's like down season and maybe they only do it during the summer. So tough luck for me. Back at the beach, trying to look for a place to eat because a lot of the local restaurants near my hotel are closed. So it seems like I need to go to like a tourist restaurant. And I don't mind dining at the beach, but now even a lot of the beach restaurants are closed. So now I'm having a hard time like deciding where I'm gonna eat. So here's an example, like I'm walking on the beach and it's mostly closed until like further down there. I did pass by a couple of restaurants that are open behind me, but I really thought it would be like much more livelier here at night. But I guess it's kinda dead in December. Yeah, so I thought the nightlife here would be very nice because when I was walking in the afternoon, it was actually pretty nice. It was a nice walk. There were a lot of people eating at the beach restaurants by the sand. So I thought it would be way better to see at night. So a lot of the drink-only bars are closed as well. So very, very interesting because in cash, the nightlife was actually quite strong. I was very surprised. But I thought like here I saw way more tourists in the beach area. I thought there would be like a livelier nightlife. Unless they're all in the bar street, who knows? But the bar street is like way, way further down towards like Old Town near the Marina, whereas the beach restaurants are more on like the new town. So it's funny, now that I've crossed like the beach restaurants part and going into like the Old Town, it's actually more vibrant and bright here. Very interesting, and even the marina side is like all lit up. Check it out. So this is funny since I already crossed to the more local part of Marmaris. I'm actually just gonna find a local doner joint because it's already kind of late. I don't want to eat like a big steak, but I do want some meat because I already had seafood for lunch. So a doner would just be perfect. Guys, the doner shop is closed. Now I need to find another place. Um, I saw like a highly rated burger spot that a lot of people said it seemed kind of like unique for a burger. So I think I'm just gonna try that. At least like it's kind of adjacent to a doner, being like a sandwich instead of a wrap, and still with like some meat inside and vegetables. So let's try it. So that's the spot, Arada Burger. Let's check it out.
100% of beef and it is but lettuce
Lettuce,
and onion and pickles,
onion, and pickles.
cheddar on it
And cheddar. Okay.
and some smoked beef like this.
Oh, okay, okay.
There is chips and onion rings side of it. Chips and onion rings side
Okay.
of it.
So the burger comes with chips and onion rings. Pretty good. Is that butter?
Yeah, but
Okay.
for caramelized bread.
Oh, that's someone
Chicken.
Oh, okay, okay.
Some
So I'm getting the Selimiye burger, which is 170 lira. And apparently it has like the burger patty and smoked meat as well. And then lettuce, onions, tomatoes, and cheddar cheese. So the special sauce they have for the burger is truffle mushroom sauce. That sounds yummy. Freshly fried fries. So, some new friends I met.
Kanki, dünyayı geziyor, yemeklerini geziyorsun çekiyor. Evet, tamam dedim. Big chef.
Guys, it's so delicious, so juicy. And then you get the layer of the patty and the smoked meat. And then the cheese just adds more dimension to it. Plus the truffle sauce, so good. I love that they grilled the bun as well, so it's crispy on the outside and like fluffy on the inside.
YouTube'da nasıl gözüküyor çok merak ediyorum.
I freaking love that they gave onion rings as well on top of fries. So good. Hey guys, so Arada Burger was delicious. It really hit the spot for me, and it was really what I was looking for to end the night, so it was perfect. The people there were so nice, so they got so excited that I was filming them like make the dish and stuff, that they even wanted to be in the video. They started hanging out, and like we were talking to each other, like chatting and stuff. So much fun. People are so friendly here. I'm so happy. Marmaris has been a pretty fun, even though like the beach area was kind of quiet, at least like the local part is still pretty lively actually. And the people are so nice, loving it. So this is the breakfast. There's eggs, hot dogs, some Turkish pastry, potatoes. Oh nice, there's an egg station too. Bread, a cereal station. A lot of different condiments. Vegetable station. Cheese station. And then meat. Look it, there's a Las Vegas pub. Hey guys, so now it's around like 12 and I'm walking the beach waterfront walk again, and it's pretty empty. And like look, nothing behind me here, nothing much behind me here. And it's also funny because being Canadian, like this weather is actually pretty good for me. I'm just wearing like t-shirt and shorts. But everybody else is wearing like jackets and stuff and they're eyeing me weird because I look like the weirdo who's not like getting cold in this weather. So it's very interesting. So what I'm doing now is, so I have walked all the way to the west previously. So now I'm trying to walk all the way east to see like what I can see. Yes, I think there's another like beach resort area as well on the east side, and so let's see what I find here. This weather is just perfect because I'm not sweating, and the quietness is very relaxing for me. Like there's not a lot of people around me, which can be very stressful. I feel in the summer when there's too many people. So now it's like nice and quiet. I have my spirit cat following me. Guys, this is so cool. This is the first time I've seen this. There's a public gym right by the beach and it's free to use. There's a guy already using one. That is so cool. Hey guys, so I'll be turning back now. I've walked all the way to 270 Sokak and there's still nothing. Like it's much more dead here than where I am near my hotel. So that's pretty interesting. Like there's not even like restaurants when I walk by. It's just I don't even know if the hotels are operating at this time because I don't see anyone and it looks pretty dead. So I think the east end part, since it's even more tourists because it's further away from the city center, so they're pretty much done for the season. So it's really like a ghost town here. Yeah, like this hotel and its restaurant, like it's already like they've already stored everything inside. Too bad it's so windy today because I really wanted to fly my drone and it would have been a perfect day because it's pretty empty, so there won't be a lot of people when I fly it. Hey guys, so behind me is one of the popular tourist attractions in Marmaris, which is the Atlantis Water Park. And it's also closed for the season, but the restaurant is open. Oh, so I didn't notice this earlier, but there's also another public gym on the left. Hey guys, so now I'm back to my starting point here at 238 Sokak, and I'm gonna walk towards the city center now and see what I can eat because it's around lunchtime. I'm hungry with all the walking, round trip, and it's time for some food. So it's such a big change, just like that border where I started. As soon as like I started walking east, there's now more people, more restaurants heading towards the city center. Such a big change. Hey guys, so I'm here at Roma Beach and Cafe. They specialize in steak and seafood. And since it's lunch and I'm starving, I'm kind of craving steak. So I found they have one of the cheaper filet steaks on the beach restaurant. So it's like 355 lira. Whereas like other places I saw were like 600 and over. So curious to see how good it is. Let's check it out. And I also got some calamari to have some seafood on the side. But tonight I might be doing some fish. They have beautiful restaurant by the beach and there's also a beach cafe as part of the restaurant where you're actually sitting by the sand. But because it's so windy right now, I opted to be in between. So I'm in this covered area but still like open air. So I got myself some FS beer to go with my meal. It's 70 lira for the big bottle. Cheers. So refreshing, especially it's such a nice day. I'm glad it didn't rain. It's nice and cool outside with the breeze flowing through. So nice. I'm starting my meal with some calamari. So for, I think it's 255 lira. It's kind of small portion. But I like that they use the baby squid because the other ones I've tried so far have been like the big rings. And normally I prefer baby squid. So let's try. Very tasty. The squid taste is actually really nice. I do find the breading has quite a bit of like cornstarch taste. So I think they can maybe reduce that, but aside from that, the squid is really good. So they were nice enough to give me like free mezes as well, and usually meal comes with like a basket of bread. Some yogurt. Pretty refreshing. There's also some aubergine. This is the filet steak. It's nice and juicy. However, the doneness is not correct. Like I asked for medium rare, and this is like medium well. So the plate comes with like salad, fries, pita bread, and rice, and pickles, onions, tomato. Just like a nice spread of sides. I like that variety. So if it's a great weather, it's actually really nice to sit by the beach so that you get the nice breeze, nice views, and it would just be really fun to dine here. Ending my meal with Turkish tea. So I'm walking back towards the city center now after having lunch. I want to see I remember seeing like a cafe by the water, and I think I just want to chill for a little bit with some Turkish coffee. Okay, so that's the spot I saw. It's a cafe by the water. Very excited to check it out and just chill. Hey guys, so I'm now here seated at Saman Iskelesi Cafe. What a local hotspot. Like everyone around me is a local, and it's right by the water. Beautiful views. I'm so glad I was able to find a seat here, and such a perfect day. And like the prices are so good. So like I just ordered Turkish coffee and it's 30 lira. And most of the time when I ordered Turkish coffee, it was like 60 to 100 lira. So this price is so good. That's why it's so important to go to where the locals are. And just by crossing from the beach restaurants to the city center side, you see a big shift. Like now I'm surrounded by locals compared to like surrounded by tourists. And you know you're getting local pricing. So beautiful here. Locals are just enjoying the views, the breeze, and there's also a park nearby where kids are playing. So nice. So one thing I noticed is they have a retractable awning so that if it rains, they can actually cover it. So awesome. Guys, I highly recommend this cafe when you're in Marmaris. It's like one of the best cafes for locals, where the locals hang, and you always want to be where the locals are. So I haven't been inside a mall in Turkey yet, so let's check out the Blue Port here. So I spy Burger King and KFC on the side of the mall. Oh, there seems to be a good sports bar here with nice price, like large draft beer for 65 lira. And buy one, get one free cocktails, spirits and shots. It's actually really good. So it has 3 floors. So the mall isn't too big. It's just like one square and around 3 to 4 shops per side of the square. So on the top floor you have the cinema, there's like an arcade place, and it's food court with different more local food as opposed to like the KFC and Burger King downstairs. Okay, so the food court is pretty big. Lots of choices, and I like that it's a lot of like Turkish cuisine. They also have like outdoor dining, which is really good. So I thought prices in the food court would be cheaper, but it's actually cheaper to like eat out at the local restaurants outside the mall, surprisingly. So for the malls here, you actually need to go through a security screener, similar to like the airport when you enter. Hey guys, so I ended up going to the city center because I wanted to see the nightlife. Yes, yesterday I was mostly just in the beach restaurant area. And it's actually more lively here, more lights, more people than the beach restaurant area at night. So I'm now at this local doner shop called Kebabland for some meat doner. It's 100 lira, so let's see if it's good. And if you want chicken, it's actually just 50 lira. So I find this doner kind of interesting because, first of all, it's pretty cheap. Like, it's probably the cheapest meat doner I was able to buy. Yeah, so far it's been over 100, and normally it's the chicken doner that's really cheap. Second is I didn't see a beef rotisserie, so I'm not sure where they got the meat for the doner. I only saw chicken in the stand, but it was still good. I saw them like stir frying it, so I'm not sure whether that's how they do the meat doner at their shop, because there is no separate rotisserie for meat that I've seen. And third is, I'm kind of confused with the sauce because it seems like there was ketchup in it. And if you look at the very top of my wrap, there was like a red dollop of sauce and it tasted like ketchup. Not exactly like the ketchup in North America, but it still tasted like ketchup. Okay, so I did just hear him ask another person for his order. So it is ketchup and mayonnaise. So that's interesting because I think this is the first doner I've had that uses ketchup and mayonnaise as the sauce. However, the doner itself still has other spices, so it does end up mixing with the ketchup and mayonnaise. The flavor gets more elevated. But I am still really shocked about ketchup and mayonnaise. But it's still, I mean, overall, it's still pretty good. I was just very surprised with everything that was happening. Like, where's the meat doner? Why don't I see it? And then, why did I taste ketchup? But still tasty, and for 100 lira, you can't go wrong. And it's a pretty big wrap as well. Oh, also what's good is they have free Wi-Fi. So, for a small doner shop, that's nice to have. Okay, so this area that I'm in has a bunch of like local shops, and I see one that's I think specializing in kunefe, so kind of want to try one. So this one, Dali kunefe and baklava, I might try it. So I'm here inside Dali right now, and I got myself a kunefe. It's good that you can watch them make it, so that's pretty fun. I've never seen kunefe being made before. I'm excited. It's gonna be my dessert. That's cool. I never knew that's how kunefe is made. I thought normally you would put it in an oven, but they have this like rotating stove. That's one long cheesy kunefe. So cheesy. Wow. It's so good. It's not too sweet. Very crispy on both sides. Like on both bottom and top, it's so crispy. Look at this cheese. It doesn't feel as oily as the other one I tried in Cash. So they also do a lot of baklava here if you want to try some. And chocolates. That was such a delicious kunefe. What a way to end my food with a sweet note tonight. And now I'm gonna see if the dancing fountain is taking place, because I saw online that it said it actually happens at night, so that's why when I went last time it didn't happen. So I think I read that it starts at 9 p.m. So it's around like 8:50 now. So let's see. So when I asked the staff at Dali about the show, she said that it actually doesn't happen in the winter, so it's only a summer thing. Another issue with coming here in the winter. So should I come back to Marmaris in the summer? Let me know in the comments. Since I'm already here close to 9 p.m., I'm just gonna wait and hope that it actually happens. We'll find out. Okay, so the show is not happening. So sad. Walked all the way here. But I'm gonna check out the harbor area to see like if there's some sort of nightlife going on there. It's funny because like at 9 I asked a local like, is the show happening? And he was like, no, it's winter. And then I was like, oh, it's only in the summer. He was like, yeah, too bad. I guess that's really how it is in winter here. So it is definitely like more vibrant and lively here at night compared to the beach restaurants area. But it's also a Sunday night, so I'm actually surprised there's still a lot of people here. see like especially this place, this coffee shop is really popular. You know what I'm curious to check out now? I'm gonna check out that sports bar at the mall, the one with the cheap drinks, and see if like how lively it is. So the sports bar is also empty. So I take that as my sign to go back to my hotel. I hope you've been enjoying my food and walking tour of Marmaris during winter. Tomorrow I'll be driving around 2.5 to 3 hours to my next destination. Can you guess where it is? And in the meantime, please be sure to like, follow, and subscribe and watch this next video right here.